Welcome back to SC Haulers. I am Saxa Wine, and today we are looking at the Caterpillar. So, what I have here, and you can see my cargo on the floor. I don't have anything in the front. I don't have anything in that first pod. But the reason I have the Caterpillar out filled with cargo is because, well, I decided I was going to haul my cargo in it, for one. But two, there was this surprising thing that happened, and it kind of reminded me of what my org mate said. Slicer had said that whenever you are using the Caterpillar and it's heavy, like filled with cargo, you have to use the boosters to get off the ground. And so I have 3 bays right now filled with cargo, and it's tungsten, copper, gold, and taranite. It's just a mixture of both. I've been doing a lot of mining, and you can see I'm lifting off the ground, but I'm having to use boosters to get off the ground with 3 pods full. We're going to go down and try again. And you'll see here, I'm just hitting the space bar. And I'm just trying to thrust upward, and it is not going anywhere. So what I'm going to do is unload this second bay right here. And then after I have that unloaded, we'll get back in the ship, see if it'll take off without boosters, how easy it gets off with boosters, so on and so forth. So let me skip to that real quick, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, so the second bay is unloaded, and we are going to try to lift off here. And so initially it's just going to be spacebar, no boosters, and I can't seem to get up. So we're going to activate our boosters. And here we go. Okay, so it was a little bit faster with the boosters, but it seems like with just 2 pods loaded, I can actually hover now. So I'm not just falling to the ground like I was before. Which, if I didn't mention that previously, it's not me descending. When I had 3 filled, I was just descending by myself. It's like the weight of the pods was too heavy, so the ship was falling to the ground by itself. Okay, so just so you all can see it, I'm going to go up again in first person view so you can see whether it's going up by itself or with boosters. And it wasn't going up by itself, so we activate boosters here. And then again, it's floating all on its own. I'm not touching anything at this point. And so we're going to descend now and then empty the third pod, leave us with only 1 pod here, and see if just thrusters by themselves can lift us up or not. We've obviously gotten to a point where 2 filled pods are able to allow us to hover just in place. But can we do that with just 1 pod filled? Okay, so we're back. We only have 1 pod filled currently. Okay, and here we go. We are just using regular boosters, or excuse me, just regular thrust, no boosters. And it's taking off. Yeah, it's taking off, which is fantastic. So with 1 pod you can take off and hover normally without using any boosters to actually get off the ground. Okay, so this brings up the question of, is it just the Caterpillar, or is it other cargo hauling ships as well? Obviously, there are ships that have the external cargo, and those ones have their weight distributed properly, right? Like the Hull C is the best example. If that's full, you're not able to take it into atmosphere. It's just going to fall to the ground and you lose all your cargo. So are they testing internal cargo weights on the Caterpillar, or did they secretly implement it into every ship? I'm gonna load up all this cargo into the freight elevator, and then we will go ahead and pull out the C2. Okay, so we're in the C2, and what we did was went to Seraphim Station, and we auto-loaded a bunch of scrap into this. Now, this obviously doesn't have enough, or not enough, as much density as the tungsten, copper, gold, and Taranite have. But it does still have a lot of density. It is still very heavy. So I wanted to test the C2 and see if a full C2 on the cargo grid had any issues. And just it seems like it's not an issue for the C2 at all. It takes off perfectly fine. There's no like weight distribution to the front or the back. It goes up and down. Like I haven't had any loss of maneuverability yet, just in the hangar. We're going to go land this thing at Orison to sell all the scrap in the C2. And something tells me, just by the way it operated in the hangar, that we're going to have a similar experience. And this thing is just moving perfectly fine. Like, this all feels normal to me. Okay, so the rotation seems fine. Movement seems fine. We're going to cut to Orison, like when I get to the landing pad, and see if there's any big significant difference. Okay, so we are at the hangar, and everything, again, like previously, it feels normal. So like I've slowed down just as much as, excuse me, just as much as I wanted to, and the descent feels normal. Like, it doesn't feel heavy like the Caterpillar did, or how the C or the whole C does. And I brought my landing gear up after it was already down. And everything just feels normal. Okay, so we're going to go sell this scrap. Then we will pull out the Caterpillar and fill it with scrap as well, just to kind of get a comparison. And once I get the Caterpillar filled up, I will be back. And that's going to be like 45 minutes for me and 2 seconds for you. Okay, so we're back at the Caterpillar. And I'm going to turn this bad boy on. Open the doors for you so you can see it's filled with scrap. And I didn't do a full load on this. I just did 24 SU containers. But you can see it's filled all the way with 24 SU containers, even in the front. So let's go ahead and get this bad boy started up and see if it can handle scrap. Like I said, scrap has a lot less density than those materials do. But if I'm right, then the Caterpillar has internal weight turned on. And you can see we're taking off. Nothing's happening with regular thrust. Oh, but it looks like maybe I can tilt forward. Yeah. So I can tilt forward and backwards and like get off the ground a little bit. But again, like I'm just slowly descending back towards the ground. What the heck? We thrust up. Pitch forward. So if you don't want to use your booster to go up, you could pitch forward. And that'll get your thrusters off the ground and have you floating for just a little bit. And once the hangar doors are open, you could then like boost out of the hangar while you're up in the air. That's interesting though. So the Caterpillar is even struggling with, and the door bug. That's exciting. And it's gone. Huzzah! Okay, so I'm going to cut to Orison, and we'll see how this thing handles landing, but oh my gosh. This is a struggle to get out of here. If you're going to use the caterpillar, keep your landing gear down until you get out of the hangar. Alright, let's cut to Orison. Okay, we have been trying to slow down and actually pitch ourselves up, but the caterpillar just does not want to do it. It does not want to actually oh god. There was, oh gosh. I'm surprised I didn't hit the back of the hangar right there. Oh, that was terrifying. But it did not want to thrust upward at all while I was in gravity, or atmosphere rather. That was, it didn't go any faster, like descending, which is normal in Star Citizen, but it took a long time to go slower. Okay, so the next thing I want to test on this is, obviously the C2 didn't have any issues with scrap. The caterpillar did. So I want to see if we put all that heavy density like tungsten and stuff on the C2, if that will affect it. Okay, so my plan was to go buy a bunch of gold because it's a little bit heavier than tungsten, but I literally would have had to spend like a couple hours flying from place to place to buy enough gold to fill up the C2. So we got six 32 SU containers of gold to throw at the front of the C2, and then I just filled the back of it with the tungsten I had at Everus Harbor. And you can see the C2 is just not struggling at all with all of this weight that's on there. And so my next question is, will this affect smaller ships, or again, is it just the caterpillar? So I pulled out the utility, and you can see there's no cargo on it currently. I just want to get a test run of it real quick. Like, I don't fly this thing very often, and so I want to make sure I get a good feel for it. We are out of the hangar, and what we're going to do is go max speed, which I don't even think in the caterpillar it affected max speed, but I mean, I could be wrong. And it's like just before we get to that outer limit of Everus Harbor is when we hit top speed. Still quite slow. Going reverse, we hit the boosters. And we head back. I mean, slowing down feels fine in the Prowler, but again, we are unladen currently. Alright, so I'm in a queue. I will cut to when we actually get into the hangar. Okay, here we go. And like, this doesn't feel... Well, I guess we're unladen, but this feels normal. It feels right for the Prowler utility, which it should. But I figured since this was one of the newer ships that maybe it would be affected by heavier cargo. Like, if they put it on the Caterpillar, maybe they put it on the Prowler. Okay, last box. Let's throw the landing gear down and see if it takes longer to take off. Like, sideways maneuverability feels good. It doesn't feel like it changed. Maybe it is a bit sluggish, but that might just be desync. Everus Harbor's pretty popular right now. And takeoff just, I mean, that felt perfectly normal. even filled with cargo. Let's do a test flight real quick. Here we go. Let's get going. And again, I don't think the speed in space is really affected by weight. I don't remember it being in the Caterpillar. And once again, like right before you hit the outside, it hit max speed. This turnaround feels just about the same. Like I don't feel like I'm traveling any further. I'm gaining speed the same as I did previously with no cargo. And let's test our landing here. We saw with the Caterpillar that we struggled to land. We hit the ground pretty hard going into Orison. Just nothing. There's no descending, nothing. Like everything I'm doing is just controlled by me. Like everything feels good in the Prowler utility, fully laden with cargo. With heavy cargo, I should say. So CIG, my question to you is, did you release, without letting us know, internal cargo weights, but only for the Caterpillar? And it's funny, I find it funny that the 3 materials that you need for the resource drive are one of the lightest, medium, and one of the heaviest like base cargoes you can find, or base commodities you can find, with corundum being the lightest at like 138, and then copper being at a density of let me see, according to Red Monster SC and most recently 411, corundum is at 134 density, copper is at 299, and tungsten is at 643. Is this a test? Are we inadvertently testing internal cargo weights for CIG? Is this why the recovery missions are using Caterpillars and C2s? That, I don't know. I have no idea. Chat, let me know what your thoughts are on this in the comments down below. I like that we're doing testing on this, but I really would have liked to have known that the Caterpillar was getting internal cargo weight. That being said, I'm Saxawine with SC Haulers. If you found the information in this video useful, please hit that like button and subscribe. It helps me out a lot and I would appreciate it. Otherwise, love you, bye.